Hello, my friends. Today is July the 17th, and this is a psychic reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a reading that will cover the year to follow, a 4 card pull, approximately 5 to 10 minutes long. I do psychic readings, I do healing work. Check out my credits. I do a lot of internet readings, and I do a lot of different healing modalities out of my office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. 4 cards for the year. A lens card to look through, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance and outcome, or synopsis card. The lens card is the judge. And the judge is always a sense of, the critic or the advocate or the judge who sits in decision making of something. And the judge always asks the questions, are you being fair? Are you listening to both sides? Are you hearing the emotional underpinnings of things so you can discern where truth lies? Truth is not, always very often so cut and dried that you can negate one side and just give it to the other. It's often someplace in the middle. I think the judge is one of those cards that reflects, if you're in your heart and you're listening with discernment and you're hearing all sides of something and you're coming down to point out the truth and the logic and the fairness and sharing between others. Let's work the emotional stuff out. What's really underpinning your fear of that? What's really underpinning your fear of that, which is being stated back and forth. So the judge, the ultimate judge, is kind of that fair fair equalizer of honor and dignity and respect. And when the judge is small, the judge might be taking sides, might not be listening to some part that's really needed to be listened to, but the judge can be stuck in their own preconceptions, stuck in your own fears, stuck in your own judgments about what quote is right or wrong, without giving someone else the sense of ability to hear, for you to hear what the truth is, what the circumstances are, what the emotional underpinnings are, because a lot of times you'll find a different way to say the truth from those kind of places of judgment. Now, maybe you're up against a judge, maybe you're up against somebody who exhibits this characteristics and is deciding something for you. Maybe you are the judge and you're evaluating how you need to proceed with something this year and trying to discern the best possible routes for yourself or for others or for the whole situation at hand. So it's all about how much in your heart I think you are this year, and if you're able to not just be in your mind and draw straight line conclusions, but actually open your heart and draw more justifiable, more justice-based, more honorable and respectful decisions. Here's your particular challenge, King of Wands. Well, either you're up against somebody who is an authority, king, wands, inspirations, passions. Is this a spiritual teacher? Is this someone who's judging your art? Is this someone who's just judging, what you are presenting from your own passion and judging you? And are they judging you fairly? And are they judging you honestly? And are you feeling like your side's being given? I think, king often says to me that something is ending. So I think something is ending for you this year that might have had really a deep passion for you for a long time, if not all your life, but something feels like it's done. Something feels like it's no longer captivating your imagination and captivating your fire and your passion and captivating your will. And there's a sense of change coming, but I think the challenge is to accept that change is coming and to allow yourself to change. I think maybe you've come to a big place of respect from others of where you've gotten to and what you've attained. And others might really be, attached to you continuing in a position that you've been positioning in, but something inside of you is saying, oh no, but this is done. I have to go on. But it's a hard battle, I think on some level. And, I think that's what you're looking at to judge around. It's like, are you judging yourself harshly if you need to leave? Are you judging yourself harshly if you feel like you're going to stay? Can you find a way to open your heart to both of those as ways to fulfill something that needs to be fulfilled? And maybe your fulfillment of that particular staying in for others is a job that needs to be fulfilled by somebody else who has now the passion for it, and you need to follow your own passion and your own truth and free yourself from what you might feel locked into, and your fire might be tamping down, and your fire might be feeling controlled, and you need a sense of, I think, emotional balance and peace and clarity to come through. So here's the action to take. Frog's all about finding healing work that serves you, finding whatever is the best methods for you to come to quiet in your mind, for you to come to a peaceful body that's not active and pushing and trying and raring to go. The wands, you're about fire and passion and doing. So the frog says, well, if you've been doing too much, maybe you just need to sit in the water and cleanse. Maybe you just need to sit in the sun and absorb some peace and some rays. But ultimately, what can you do to heal yourself, to bring yourself to peace, to bring your body to peace, to bring your emotions to a calm level, not be pushed around and distracted by your own emotions and your own fears and your own guilt and shames and wants and repulsions and attractions and all those things about emotion. And emotions are also about listening to one's intuition. So are you listening to your intuition? This says you got to get in touch with your intuition. Go sit in the water. Go listen to the water inside of yourself. What's your intuition really telling you that you want to do and that you should do? And not so much your heart. It's not so much your head. Listen to your heart. Listen to your emotions. Listen to your intuitions. Listen to your body. Calm your body. What's your body really want to do? What would bring your body peace? Because I think ultimately maybe you've either flamed out here or your fire is still burning and it's just not in the right direction right now. So in order for you to hear what direction, maybe you just got to take some stock of the rest of your body and say, is my body being fed? Is my emotions being fed? Am I listening to my intuitions? Is my fire raging, but it has nothing to rage around, and or is my fire tamped down because I just have nothing more to give to this situation? Both of those have remedies. Is my heart open and I can find compassion for myself in whatever regard I show up as? Maybe this is some really deep inner child work about opening yourself up to some truth that's old inside of you, some child that might have felt judged and carried that judgment along, and which now says, oh no, I can't do that now either, because your inner child's is still saying that. This is just another lesson in learning who you are and what you believe and how to heal some old wounds that lock you up and close you down and don't allow you to be your authentic self. Ultimately, I think this is a card about authentic self. You got to spin with your own voice. You got to spin with your own wheel. You got to make your own choices that benefit you, but also benefit, humanity, others outside of yourself. You're not a singular essence without a purpose and without a responsibility, but you're not a multiple essence that everybody can feed off of and demand for you to be in their mold. You have to fit your own mold, become your own authentic self, sing your own truth, find your own voice, do your own art, follow your own passion, let yourself change and heal. Aho Mitakuyasan, blessed be. May the judge be perfectly balanced this year to find the right amount of fairness for all sides of yourself. Aho.